Noah Wilburn, am I creative? Go. That's how I'm feeling today. Like that's like, yeah, literally.
Isaac Applegate, am I creative?
First question, the warm-up question. What snack and drink are you grabbing at the gas station?
Oh, a Bang and either combos, like those pretzels with cheese in them. Oh, shut up. Yeah, Bang and like combos or like, oh, you know what's so underrated in my opinion is the gas station donuts. Y'all tripping.
Really?
Y'all are tripping, I promise. The Circle K gas station donuts. Go try them. Do yourself a favor. They're actually really freaking good. So bad for you, but they're so good.
Coffee, water, or gum?
So boring.
It is so boring.
Golly.
Bro,
Live
the
life
gas
on the edge.
station is not like a destination for me. It's like I need something that I forgot at home or don't have it, and so it's a solution. So water, coffee, gum.
Makes sense.
So the topic this week is motivation.
All right.
What does motivation mean to you?
So I always thought that motivation was a lot of speaking into somebody's life. That's what I thought motivation was. I thought it was a lot of like speaking to their life, you know, talk and give them advice and give them that dose of serotonin, you know, so they can just boom, get up and go. You know what I'm saying? What I realized what motivation is it is that, you know, that is giving somebody that dose of serotonin, but it's also a lot of, it's actually a lot of listening. It's a lot of listening to people's, what's going on and speaking very, very lightly. So not speaking as much is what I mean. I think some of the greatest motivational speakers are the ones that listen the most.
Yeah, I definitely had a kind of a negative, or I viewed motivation as kind of gimmicky, because that's all I thought of it was like Nike commercials and the guy who gets up and does a rally speech, and it's all so surface level. And so those do have their purposes. Like sometimes you need somebody to like slap you upside the head, or you just need a little cold water,
Oh, yeah.
and so, you know, it energizes something in you, but that's just the spark. I think what motivation is to me is purpose in action. So if you don't have purpose, then that's why, you know, these motivational speakers get up and talk. You don't get anything done. It's because you have that little spark, but that's not real motivation. That's just a little gas to get to your can. But you need to have purpose, and then when you actually have that purpose that drives you to do something, that's motivation that keeps you going. So it's purpose and action, and so that's why it's important for me. It's because if I'm starting to feel lack of motivation, I'll go back and I'm like, why am I doing this? And if I don't have an answer to that, oh, red flag. I either sit down, well, I figure it out. Do I really need to be doing this? Or that's why I'm doing this, and then it gives me that drive to keep going. So
What keeps you motivated?
People in my life keep me motivated, but also the purpose that God's given me just inside, knowing that the fruits of my labor will be rewarded and something will come of it, keeps me motivated. So
depends on, you know, sometimes it's very practical, like, hey, I'm really tired, I need like 2 glasses of water and a cup of coffee, and I'll get going, you know. So you can't ignore the practical things, or if you're feeling sluggish, you know, work out and get your body going. So you have that really kind of deep level to it, the why, the purpose, and then sometimes you just need those practical things. If you're feeling tired at your computer, like, I can't do this, just get up, do a lap, walk around the office or something, go outside, get a breath of fresh air, do some breathing, come back and tackle it. So that's what keeps me motivated, is just have that deep purpose, and then being aware of when you're starting to slow down, just being self-aware enough to be like, all right, nope, not gonna give into this, and just try to go find a solution to that and come back and get back on it. So
When do you find yourself losing motivation?
it's when I can't focus. That's when I lose motivation. Like when my mind is on other things, that's when I start losing my motivation. Because I'm like, I can get this done tomorrow. Or tired, you know, can do this whenever. That's when I really start to lose motivation for me.
yeah, I definitely fall prey to like the instant gratification thing sometimes. So it's like you see a task in front of you and you want to get it done, but you just want it to be done, and so you find that outlet somewhere else. Like, oh, I can watch this funny video or go hang out with this person or whatever it is. And so it delays that progress because you just want something to be done now, and I just want that to be fulfilled now. So that's a big one for me. I have to fight that a lot. It's like, nope, stay focused on what you're doing.
Same here.
So
like even with like where we got in a year, you know what I mean? Like just kind of like the accomplishments that we had and whatever. And then I look at this year and I'm like, do something. You know what I mean? Like something happened, you know? And then it's like when it doesn't happen, it's like you're kind of like, oh, am I really doing, like, is this really worth it, you know? And you just kind of got to like reel it back in and be like, no.
Yeah,
you know, it's
you gotta
not
have
real
that long-term vision. Like if you're going to the gym, you know, and let's say you weigh 100 pounds and you're trying to get up to 150, that 50 pounds isn't gonna add itself overnight. Like,
there you go.
Day in, day out.
How do you keep the team motivated to do their best work?
Well, I say those once a month outings, you know, that we pay for should be enough motivation. We pay them. That's good motivation.
That is it.
Right?
It's a motivation, yeah.
We pay them. How I think we do it is keeping the air, you know, clean. So like just keeping the environment, you know, very open. I don't think that like we have expectations, and you know we've all agreed that they're very realistic. So we hold people to those expectations, and then you know, in order to keep people motivated, in order to keep doing that, I think it's just a thing of like, hey, you know, hey boss, like, you know, not really feeling it. You know, they're able to come tell it. You know, being able to do that and talk through it, I think motivates them. You know, having our one-on-ones, you know, talking about goals and your plans for the future that don't involve this. I think talking about things that have to do with you personally, with them personally, I think keeps them motivated because they understand why they're doing what they're doing. Because, you know, at the end of the day, what motivates them isn't what probably doesn't always motivate I Am Creative, right? So we try to keep a good balance of business goals that we push them towards, but then also like having their own goals and everything, and making sure that they stay motivated in that way, and being able to create an environment where they can talk about either or. I think that creates a lot of motivation as well. So hopefully that made sense.
Yeah, I'll admit this is something I'm still working on. Like it's an active learning process for me right now. Where I've seen the most success though is where so someone's staying either motivated or they're not feeling validated, and so that makes them lose motivation. Is again getting to that deeper reason. Okay, so this is the symptoms that we're seeing. Why are you feeling that way? And then you can either talk through those things, or maybe there is a system that's out of place that you need to adjust to correct that course. And so just being open and like, hey, that's cool. I'm not offended by that. You know, you feel a certain way, so let's talk about that. And then you can find out whether that's a real concern or whether it's bogus. Not to make that person feel bad, but sometimes we're just human, you know, and so we perceive things incorrectly or whatever it is. And so, but yeah, just being open, honest, getting past the surface level on what's going on, and that only keeps them motivated, keeps you motivated. The vision is clear, and then it also builds camaraderie and trust.
So that's all I have on motivation. So we got the final question, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot this week.
Oh,
It's
God.
really been
I'm sure you have, Nate. What is it?
Oh Lord.
Is cereal a soup? Why or why not?
Yes and no.
No, there can't be a yes and no. It's gotta be one answer. Well, what's the definition of soup?
Okay, so I think a soup,
All right.
it takes time, yeah? It takes like, you have to let it sit and mellow and it kind of comes together, right? There's some cereals you can just dump the cereal in and like, you can just eat it and it's enjoyable. Some of them, you need to let that cereal set, like Fruity Pebbles or like Choco Pebbles or like, you know, the really hard cereal that like Captain Crunch, if you bit into it right away, it would destroy your teeth and your gums. You gotta let it sit and marinate, and the milk kind of takes on the soup flavoring. I think that's kind of, or the milk takes on the cereal flavoring and stuff, so I think it becomes more of a soup.
Yeah, so no. So the definition of soup is a liquid dish typically made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables, etc. in stock or water. Okay?
Typically.
Right. So, right.
So if you put the cereal in water, then it's soup.
Right. So
If it's in milk, then it's
here's the thing.
So it's really the
You're
milk
not cooking cereal inside, right? So how do I say this? Yeah. So like
I took like Orgo too. Stuff's always cooking. It just depends, just because there's not like a heat source that you're putting underneath on the stove. Your food's cooking.
right. So you're not. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're preparing soup, right? Usually what happens is you're putting it, you're preparing it all in one place. With cereal, you're not preparing anything. It's more so just like, and again, we'll go to the definition, right? No, that's
you
not
have to
it.
prepare soup either.
Right.
My soup's all in a can.
Right. So cereal is a grain used for food such as wheat, oats, or corn. A grass producing a cereal grain grown as an agricultural crop. A breakfast food made from roasted grain, typically eaten with milk, right? So a bowl of cereal. So soup is actually a liquid dish typically made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables. So forget everything I just said. It literally says that it's made by something, right? So that's the definition. So that's what defines soup and cereal. So no, cereal is not a soup at all. Cereal is cereal. It's its own category.
Cereal served as a dish in milk may be considered soup.
Okay, so what if you put all the stuff you put in a soup, but instead of like a broth over water, you put it in milk?
That'd be cereal.
It'd be cereal?
No, because
You got
So
carrots
what?
and chicken and...
Actually, no.
Cereal is a
Actually,
grain.
no,
Cereal
you're right. Yeah. So no, it wouldn't be. It would still be soup.
the cereal served as a dish inside of milk could potentially be soup.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
That's what I'm
If it involves,
That's my answer.
So look, if you now the question is, if you put cereal and boiling fish together in milk and water, what is that? Right?
It's a bad day.
It's a really bad meal. That's correct.
It's a sad
That's
day.
that's the real answer. Anyways, we out of here. Soup and cereal.